Allow me to reintroduce myself. I am Serena Hussain, and on this channel, I speak about being a holistic human. So that means being creative, but also scientific, and not really compartmentalizing ourselves. But we have, unfortunately, some risks to anticipate, and they are AI related. And these risks are that we become even more compartmentalized and perhaps only recognized for those categories and compartments that could be assigned to us without our consent, without our will. These are some things that I'm really keen to pursue and explore as I embark upon the closing of my MSc research in systems thinking. I've always found being a creator and a creative quite difficult because you're always having to appease the algorithm and having to niche in peculiar and particular ways in order to get ahead, get views, get subscribers. Now, with so many changes coming down the road, the absence of followers and subscriber counts, since all of us are watching, well, most of us are watching content that we don't necessarily subscribe to or follow. The algorithm is showing us content that we like, not necessarily content that we have actually chosen to commit to through following or subscribing. There are also other developments going on that could impact our lives and our livelihoods. And then there's the impact on our sense of self and our identity. So I want to explore all of these things as I embark on my research for the next 12 or so months. And I want to share findings and insights with you. But I also want to bring you into my journey of creating content in multiple ways online, whether it's Substack, whether it's my YouTube channel called Serena's Playbook, where I provide tools and training for creators and entrepreneurs, or my media literacy channel, which is all about having a bit of a funny discussion, tongue in cheek, about the media, about politics, about the digital landscape or culture. With this channel, I wanted a dedicated personal space, almost like a scrapbook of art life, research life, content creator life, business life, and how all of these areas of my life and facets of your life could be and will be impacted by AI developments and the way that AI is going to impact society, the rules, the regulations, and the way social norms could be impacted. A big consideration for me is to look at how our creativity and our art is impacted, but not necessarily as simply as art being automated, but how the tastes and the palates of humans who support art could be impacted. In the same way that we are outsourcing our thinking to AI software and AI agents, are we going to outsource our taste, our preferences, our ability to connect with art? You see, this new age that we are now in has many tentacles, and I want to track these tentacles so that we can be in a position of greater awareness, so that we can preserve our own humanity and the humanity of those whom we love. There's actually a few areas that I am looking to focus on that I'll share with you here, looking at how AI systems, algorithms, recommender systems, filters, moderation bots shape people's identities and visibility online, how marginalized voices adapt, mask, or perform to be heard, to be seen in these systems, the emotional labor of optimization, especially for women or people of color or neurodivergent creators, for instance, how systems thinking helps us see interconnected pressures such as platform logic, economic survival, personal authenticity, and how this isn't just about tech, but actually it's about selfhood, it's about storytelling, and it's about survival. I, in particular, want to explore how AI powered recommendation systems are going to be impacting our identity, our sense of agency, and our digital labor, especially for marginalized individuals. I want my research to investigate the feedback loops between platform design, user behavior, emotional labor, and social visibility using qualitative data, using media analysis, and more broadly, for us to ask the question of ourselves, who am I now in the systems that shape me? Because all of these systems have an impact on how we live our lives and how we see ourselves in those lives. So now being holistic has taken on a whole new meaning. I couldn't believe that I would now be looking at algorithmic identity construction and how there's a threat to ourself. And it was only through the pursuit of examining, exploring the intersection between our creativity, a philosophical understanding of self, and AI and technology. And there are many uncertainties down the line. Tech platforms may change algorithms entirely or remove public access to their logic. The hot platforms right now, like TikTok, they may fall or suddenly become regulated quite heavily. And then the language around AI may shift entirely. So I'm hoping to anchor my findings, my thoughts, and my research in systems thinking, since systems thinking is actually my MSc, but also within lived experience, not just looking at tech trends or user behavior. So the entire subject of the content here won't be AI, but more an interacting system, how we are interacting with it, and vice versa. I want to study the patterns of human adaptation to technology, not just looking at the technology itself. And there will be strong movements around AI and ethics, as well as algorithmic bias. So I want to contribute to an interdisciplinary, future facing, equity driven research subject that could hopefully advocate for people that may find themselves to become invisible in this new AI world. It's really important that we get our heads around the invisibility of these systems and to sort of deconstruct the mystification around them. Because you see, these systems are systems of control and they control our identity and they have feedback loops that we might not be so cognizant of. I want to document this journey of research, visit these subjects with you in community, and hopefully through that engagement, be able to provide valuable insights for the research itself, but also to bring you along in this journey. So perhaps the content here will become a research series, but I do want it to be personal because, like I said, at the core of this is our humanity. So we find ourselves in an era increasingly governed by AI mediated systems. There's a risk that digital selfhood will no longer be self determined. How will we combat that? And what will the emotional, cognitive, and social labor be to present ourselves online and offline? I still have faith, though. A common thing I hear from others, from opinion makers, is that my art won't be useful anymore, or my writing won't be, or my strategic consulting won't be necessary because it can all be automated. And I question that because whilst I know a lot of our output will become automated, surely we still have an appreciation for the human and the human's ability. I was watching an interview with a chess champion, and there was some commentary around chess players being AI and whether people would pay to watch AI competing against itself or whether they would pay to watch humans competing against one another in a chess tournament. I mean, answer the question for yourself. I do think that there may come a time where we become almost fans of AI celebrities in the same way we've become fans of Hollywood and Hollywood actors. None of them we know or knew, none of them were on social media and they became big stars. And they were quite distant from us, they weren't up close. The same could happen with AI celebrities. So anything is possible. But I just once again want to thank you for watching and for supporting me on this channel that's had many different iterations. Now that I have found a much more grounded focus in my personal and creative and professional life, I think I'll be able to continue to provide consistent drops here on the channel. And I'm hoping to hear more from you as well. But I'm under no overly optimistic expectations that I will be vlogging like a typical YouTuber, because whilst I tried that, it didn't quite fit for me. And I'm not entirely sure if that will be a trend that we'll be seeing much more of. But let's watch this space. Never say never. For now, I'm going to probably speak to you about what's coming up research wise in terms of my thinking. You can tune into some of that on my Substack, actually, that was relaunched recently. And you might see some snippets of life in art and science. For now, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you very soon.